today I'm gonna show you the types of makeup we can wear a lot during these really beautiful seasons. So let's start. Today I will be using a cushion foundation, and usually before applying it, I like to spray some setting spray all over my face first. It helps set the base and makes the foundation stay in place better. After I spray the setting spray all over my face, I like to grab a little puff like this, then give it a splash of the mist. I actually can do this like this, and slightly I press it onto my skin, especially focus on the area that I tend to get oily, like this area, this area, this area. This really helps the foundation stay a little bit longer. We are now ready to use the cushion foundation. I am very much obsessed with this one recently. Use your puff, whatever puff that you have, and then gently, lightly press the puff into the foundation, and use this area here just to spread the product evenly across the puff. Then we can slowly press the foundation onto the skin. So the base is basically set. Look how seamless it looks. Alright, let's go in with some concealer. Because of this really serious breakout here, I need to use green concealer to cover the redness. This is crazy, I'm telling you. I have no idea what's happening here. And for curl tone under my eyes as the first layer, and blend it so that it looks even. I don't really use as much as concealer now anymore. I just think the amount doesn't really matter. Most important is the layer. So now I'm adding the final layer. The color tone is my skin tone. You can always use the same puff that you use to apply your foundation to blend everything in, and that is set very naturally. And don't add that much of concealer around this crease under your eye if you don't feel like having some fine eye and then the dry patches. That's one of the ways to avoid that problem. Done the foundations and concealer, it's time to set the base with a bit of loose powder. Today I'm using this one. A small brush like this is enough. Tap it around the area that's really need more of the setting. A hack that I like to use recently is using this kind of puff and getting a little bit more of the powder left over, and then press it on the area that usually more oily. After setting with the loose powder, I'm also going in with a bit of the concealer powder. Actually, using finger is alright. Because I don't really need much, I just need to tap a bit here, like this. This concealer powder from bareMinerals is really good. I really recommend it, especially if you also have breakout like mine. I think you can keep one at home in case. The base is done. For my brushes, I like to start by using a brow pencil or a brow pen to shape the outline of my brows first. More like a general outline like this. Because you see my brows is dripping a bit at the end, so usually I tend to fill in this area so that it looks like less dripping at the end. And also the front, I also add a bit more color here in this area, just shapes the general outline like this. And also then I'll use a brow mascara or a brow gel to set everything in place. Today's eye makeup, I'm gonna use this palette. I think it's really a autumn color, winter color from middle, and then spread it to the whole eyelid. Guess this is the area that I wanted the color more pigmenting, so that's the reason why I started on the center and then spread it around. And after that, get yourself a clean brush to blend it. Blend the color. That's the first layer. And now there's a little bit shimming, a lighter tone from the center, and gently wrap around the whole eyelid. And I also get the same, like anything that's left on the brushes, from outward to inward to draw the lower, and then use the clean brush to gently blend everything together. I'm using this brush again, the one that we used for the first layer. Get a deeper light brown color, only the grease from the inward to the outward first, and also from the outward to the inward. And slightly shape the eye shape a bit. And now use a pointed brush like this. I'm coming in with more brown color. Using a little brush like this, get a bit of it to highlight here, not the whole brow bone, but only like the highest point here like this. And I'm also coming in more with the same highlight and a little bit shimmer here above your pupil. And use your finger to help you blend in a bit in the eye corner. And here, this area. Just a bit more. So I have two colors. One is more like white color. Once again to highlight my lower lash line so that my eyes look bigger from the inward to the outward. It's giving you a little bit of the shape already. And then use another color. Smile a bit. I'm using a giant eyeliner pen today to draw the eyeliner. Use a brush to help you. I'm using this mascara first. This one at the volume, another layer, another coat. For me, I concern this part the most. So I usually use lip liner to emphasize this part of it and draw other parts according to my lip shape, and also emphasize more here so my lips will be plumper. Then I'm using this lip product from M.A.C. It really helps me create a slightly fuller lip look. Lastly, I'm using this liquid blush, just a touch on the cheekbones and the uppers for a soft final touch up. going in with the Dr. Dre Brighten Up Sense Plus. I'm almost finished with this one already because it's honestly really good. It gives you enough SPF protection. I also really like how it slightly tones up my skin. Alright, let's move on to eye makeup. I am going in with the darkest shade in the palette and applying it all over my eyelid. Then using the same brush with whatever is left on it along my lower lash line. I usually apply it from the outer corner inward. I feel like it looks more natural that way. Next, I'm moving on to concealer. The same Cover Perfection Triple Pot Concealer in shade 01, and it's honestly one of my all-time favorites. I know some people think it's a bit dry, and some find it harder to use compared to liquid concealers because it's more of a paste texture. It does take a bit more effort to blend, but the coverage is amazing. It easily covers around 80% of whatever you want to hide. While I let the concealer set a bit, I am going to do my brows. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eyebrow Pencil in shade Taupe. This pencil is honestly outstanding. It's very pigmented, super smooth. I like to keep my brows a little bit fatter and softer, not to arch up or down. And this pencil makes it really easy to shape them exactly how I want. Once my brows are done, I go back and blend out the concealer using my Solone Soufflé makeup sponge. For foundation today, I'm using a YSL Cushion Foundation. I personally love cushion foundations because they give the most skin-like finish. I don't think I can get the same effect with liquid foundations or pressed powder. If you are looking for a glowy, hydrated skin-like look, cushion foundations are definitely the way to go. For concealer touch-ups, I'm using the NARS Radiate Creamy Concealer. Next is blush. I'm using a chemical blush, applying it along my cheekbones and slightly under my eyes. This helps shorten my face and adds more volume to the apples of my cheeks. So overall, I will look a bit more useful. Now for eyeliner. Once you start using gel liner, it's really hard to go back. I'm using this one from Bobbi Brown, which is super famous for a reason. It lasts forever and never matches. Don't forget about Encre out. It really helps enlarge your eyes and softens the mid-face. I am using one from Pura. It makes everything so much easier. I like using the light, almost white shade to highlight my under eye area so my eyes look bigger. Of course, for your lashes. For mascara, I'm using one from Imthe, which is still one of my favorites. Tricky to use it because it clumps easily, but the volume it gives is insane. Just be careful and don't blink until it fully dries. So to set my makeup, I'm using a Jung Mool setting powder. It's very smooth and it sets the makeup without making it look dried or patchy. And it also gives a soft, slightly burnt effect to the skin. I only apply a small amount to areas that tend to get squeezy, oily after a few hours. For powder blush today, I'm using Fenty Beauty. It's very pigmented, so you don't really need much. Just tap lightly and apply gently. Don't overdo it. Begging you, please don't ever discontinue this powder. You cover my blemishes so well and you are my best friend on long makeup days. Just tap a bit with your fingers and press it onto the skin. The powder is super fine and smooth, so it never looks patchy or cakey. Just remember less is more and it can get too dry. I usually don't use lip liner, but today I felt like it. This nude shade blends out beautifully and adds a bit more volume to my lips. My lips are actually quite thin, so this really helps make them look fuller. For lipstick, I am using Hera. Honestly worth the price. The quality is there, it gives a clean, defined look without emphasizing lip lines, and it never dries out my lips. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, follow, and share this video to many of your friends. See you next time. Bye bye.